New commitment for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish from Northern California. Logan Saldate has flipped his commitment from the Oregon State Beavers to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Tim, when you get the news of this commitment for Notre Dame, what's your initial reaction?
Obviously, they needed another wide receiver in this class, and they went out and got a young man out of the Pac-10, or excuse me, the Pac-12, from a really good football program in Oregon State, an up-and-coming program. So it's a nice get for them. He's an athletic kid. I was very surprised by his film. I thought he uses his body really well, plays with outstanding leverage, and he has some really good burst with the ball out there in the open field. And he's a two-way player. He's playing corner, playing slot, playing outside receiver, played a multiple positions. So it's a good get for a number 3 receiver in this class.
All right, let's take a look at the rankings here. 3-star across the board. And I'm just, look, folks, I know when you see the 3-star, like, oh, here we go. Old Singer and Hyatt are going to try to sell us on a 3-star guy. Look, I get it. If you just want to be like, I just live and die by the rankings, then by that logic, then you're probably okay with CJ Carr's ranking and you're not ever upset with that. Well, no, except for you are. So, like, which one are we going to go by here? Is it like the guy actually had some decent offers as well? Oregon State, obviously. Notre Dame is a pretty big one. Cal, Oklahoma State, Washington, Arizona, Washington State, and then some Group of 5 schools. So it's not like it's a scrub offer list. And again, he looks like a really good player on film, Tim. And in talking to Notre Dame sources, Isaiah Canyon decommits. I was told they looked at dozens of wide receiver prospects who they thought, they had a decent chance with. And Tim, I'm talking about, I heard from a source that there was like a 5-star type receiver, not like a Ryan Wingo, like someone who Notre Dame was not recruiting. That, I mean, they really went all over the place, all over the country, 3-star, 4-star, 5-star. And this young man Saldate just seems like he just not only connected well with the staff, the most off the field. What was interesting that I learned, Tim, is that, a few of when Notre Dame kind of narrowed it down to several receivers, they had, and I'll pop on the film here, they had these receivers, because they can't camp right now. It's a dead period. So they had the receivers like put together like a little showcase where mom went out to the local field and filmed him running the route tree and run a 40-yard dash. And apparently he just kind of blew the Notre Dame staff away with this. So it seems like, look, again, I'm not here to sell people on Notre Dame getting 3-star. You can have your own opinion, but I mean, Tim, the film doesn't lie. I know he might not be playing against the greatest competition in Northern California where he's at specifically, but the dude looks electric on film. So I just gave you a lot of context and info, Tim. What do you think about some of this?
No, I mean, he surprised me. I'll be really honest with you. I mean, obviously, the first thing you do, like, all right, who's this young man? Look at the rankings. Oh, California kid. Let's go check him out. Up there, his area in the Monterey County area is not the greatest high school football, but his team is really good. They've won quite a few games. The playoffs. They've gone against elite teams in the playoffs and have lost, but he's put up some really good football numbers. And just doing a quick little research of the young man and watching some of his films. So I like the fact that, I mean, his official visits were Oklahoma State. He went to Cal, Oregon State, Washington. So he went to some good football programs, especially when you're looking at Washington and obviously Oklahoma State with Coach Gundy, with the way his offenses work. So he really surprised me. I know I said that, and I was shocked. I really liked his ability. One of the first things I noticed with him was just his body. I just like the way he used his body. He's just not running a route and catching the ball. He always seemed to use his leverage, his body position.
Like right there.
Yeah, I mean, and it's like that a lot in his film. And another little thing I just found interesting is it just, I don't know. I mean, I saw confidence on the field. And obviously these type of guys that are going to Notre Dame Pac-12 programs, obviously they have confidence. I just saw it on the film, and I really enjoyed it. I'll say it for a third time. I was surprised with him. I really like his film. He's pretty quick. He's got little moves, and I think at the end of the day, he's a perfect number 3. He's going to be a slot. He's not a real big guy and whatnot, so he's going to be a good slot receiver to do some of the things that Notre Dame wants to do in the future. And really, the most important thing is, I mean, he's a guy with a lot of Power 5 offers. and Notre Dame needs numbers, and it's always going to come down to numbers as they build this wide receiver room, which is not complete. So we always got to keep that in mind.
One note here, Tim, is that when Notre Dame did have those 3 receiver commits in Canyon, Gilbert, and Williams, there's a lot of, Notre Dame needs Jason Robinson. They need slot. They need a slot, like a true slot. And then me and you were like, big guys can play the slot. Like, it's not like you need a short guy on the field to play the slot position. But with that being said, I think it is important to have someone who is a natural slot. Like, it doesn't need to be like, you can have tall guys play the slot, but those tall guys need to be able to play the slot, if that makes sense. So with this young man, Saldate, like, he just seems like such a natural fit there. Jason Robinson didn't work out for Notre Dame, but I think the staff is very happy with this commitment. So, I mean, do you like that idea of, this is a guy who's a true slot?
Oh yeah, I mean that was some of the first things I realized right away on film is like, all right, he's going to play slot. He's not going to be an outside guy and whatnot. So he'll be an inside guy, a motion guy, those types of things. So no, he's a good little football player. He is, and I think when you're building a class, obviously you have a high end guy in Cam Williams. You have Micah Gilbert, who's in that top 200 range, physical, good looking wide receiver out of North Carolina, and then you have the next guy in line, which is, obviously Logan here. So, and I just keep going back. I mean, Oregon State's a good football program. Yeah. Coach Smith out there does a heck of a job. What's funny, Mike, is you're talking about the videos that his family was doing. Kirby Smart just talked about that at SEC Media Day, talking about the COVID, how he's gotten, I think, 17 out of his 20 from the COVID year are still in the program, polar opposite of the Notre Dame 2021 class. And he talked about those videos of people going in their backyard, showing them all the skills needed. So for him to go do that says obviously a lot about him and how he wants to be a part of this Notre Dame football program. So, very exciting. And, I'm a California guy, always biased for California football players. They throw the ball a ton, as you see in his film. So he's going to be, coming into an offense, ready to roll there.
So that's the news, folks. Logan Saldate flipping his commitment from Oregon State to Notre Dame. Let us know what you think about this in the comments section of this video. Please hit that thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, head over to blueandgold.com for more coverage of this news. I got to interview him ahead of his announcements. You can read up on that as well. Appreciate you folks, and we will catch you next time.